Let's get real for a second. Stepping on a motorcycle and hitting the road is pure freedom, but there are 9 fears quietly sitting between you and the best decision you will ever make. Every new rider has them. Every returning rider has them. Most people let these fears decide for them, then spend the next decade watching other people actually live the thing they talk themselves out of. Not a single one is as real as it feels. Everyone has a simple, learnable fix. Today we count them down, call them out, and hand you the confidence to get on the bike. Let's get into it right now. Number 9, the fear of dropping the bike. You are going to drop it. That is the fear. In a parking lot, at a stop sign, during your very first low-speed U-turn, you are going to tip a 400-pound machine sideways onto the ground in front of strangers. And it is going to be expensive and humiliating at the exact same time. Here is why that fear feels so real. Motorcycles do not have a kickstand of last resort. Cars have 4 contact points and will happily stand still all day without any human input. A motorcycle has 2, and at very low speeds, under about 12 miles per hour, gyroscopic stabilization practically disappears, and the bike becomes genuinely top-heavy and wants to fall. New riders feel this the moment they slow down, and their entire body tenses up, which delightfully makes everything dramatically worse. Here is the part the fear gets completely wrong. Every single motorcycle rider on Earth has dropped a bike. The ones who say they have not are lying or have not ridden enough yet. A slow-speed tip-over almost never damages anything structural. A lever bends. Maybe a mirror scratches. The bike is rideable immediately. The ego takes the real damage, and egos are remarkably good at healing within about 20 minutes. The fix is, look where you want to go. Your eyes drive your body drives the bike. Stare at the spot you are terrified of, and you will ride directly into it every single time. Pick your eyes up to the exit of the turn or the open space ahead, and the bike follows your gaze with almost zero conscious steering input. Practice this in an empty parking lot at walking pace until it feels automatic. It works the first time you try it, and that moment is deeply satisfying. Professional racing instructors spend the first hour of every beginner course on exactly this: slow-speed cone patterns in a car park, teaching eye position above braking, above throttle, above everything else. Brand new riders who cannot complete a basic U-turn at 9 in the morning are carving confident tight turns by 11. The technique works that fast because it is not fighting new skills. It is replacing a bad habit with one that works with the physics instead of against it. Parking lots are survivable. But here is where a lot of new riders really tense up: the moment the on-ramp opens up and traffic is moving. The fear of highway riding is next, and the reality is much simpler than the fear makes it feel. Number 8, the fear of highway speeds. 75 miles per hour on 2 wheels feels genuinely insane the first time. The wind hits you like a physical object. Everything happens faster. Passing trucks create a bow wave that pushes you away, and then a suction pull that drags you back in. If something goes wrong at that speed, the consequences feel incomparably worse than anything that can happen in a parking lot. This is a completely logical fear. The brain is not being irrational here. What the brain is getting wrong is the physics. A stable, properly inflated motorcycle at highway speed is actually more stable than at low speed, not less. Gyroscopic forces from both spinning wheels increase dramatically with speed, actively resisting any force that tries to knock the bike off its line. The bike wants to track straight at 65 miles per hour. It is trying to go straight. The instability you feel is almost entirely in your hands and arms, not in the chassis. The chassis is fine. Your grip is the problem. The single most transformative thing a new highway rider can do costs absolutely nothing. Relax your grip. A death grip on the handlebar grips transmits every vibration, every wind gust, and every small wobble directly into your nervous system, amplifying it into something that feels like the bike is actively disintegrating. Loose, relaxed wrists mean the bars can move slightly with the wind and then self-correct, which is exactly what they are engineered to do. Your hands should be in contact with the grips, not fused to them. Practice consciously unclenching your forearms while keeping light, controlled contact. The difference is immediate. Ask any long-distance tourer about their first highway ride versus their 100th. The universal answer without exception is that the buffeting completely disappears as a concern by trip 3 or 4, not because the wind stopped, but because relaxed arms stopped transmitting it as panic. The bike was completely fine the entire time. The nervous system simply needed a few sessions to stop catastrophizing every gust. Highway riding is not dangerous. Tense highway riding is uncomfortable. There is a significant difference. Highway nerves are a grip problem. But what about when the sky opens up while you are already out there? Rain has its own special category of dread, and most of it is built on a fundamental misunderstanding of how motorcycle tires actually work in wet conditions. Number 7, the fear of riding in the rain. The mental image is vivid and it is terrifying. Wet road, corner, tire slides, catastrophic exit. The brain conjures this scenario with remarkable speed and genuine commitment every time dark clouds appear on the horizon. And to be fair to the brain, wet roads do reduce available grip significantly. That part is completely true. So the fear is not irrational, it is just aimed at the wrong target. Modern motorcycle tires have enormous grip reserves even in genuinely wet conditions, far more than most riders ever use on a normal dry street ride. The scenarios that actually cause rain crashes are specific and almost entirely avoidable. Painted road markings, metal drain covers, the greasy film of diesel fuel sitting in the tire tracks near fuel station entrances, and the first 15 minutes of rainfall before road oils get washed away. These are known, mappable hazards, not random catastrophic bad luck. The rider who knows about them is already 90% safer than the one who does not. The fix lives in the front brake lever and specifically in how you apply it. In the wet, a sudden front brake grab is the #1 cause of front wheel washouts. Progressive brake application means squeezing the lever gradually over half a second rather than snatching it. Build pressure, hold it, release the same way. Add 20% more stopping distance than you think you need, then add a bit more anyway. Smooth, deliberate, progressive. That is the entire wet weather braking philosophy in 5 words. Motorcycle couriers, police officers, and postal delivery riders ride in rain every single day in cities with far more complex traffic and far worse surfaces than most recreational riders see in a year. Their crash rate in wet conditions is not dramatically higher because smooth inputs are muscle memory for them. They do not think about it. They just do it. Rain riding is a skill. You are not excluded from learning it. Imagine standing in front of a bike you want, the seller swearing it's perfect. That's where riders overpay by thousands on a $10,000 bike. Our buyer's kit tells you what it's really worth, your fair price, and when to walk away. A wrong bike costs thousands. This kit, just $49. The easiest money you'll ever save. Scan the QR on the right or tap the link in the description. Let's get that bike you've always wanted for even cheaper. Rain is manageable with technique. But what about the fear that exists before you even get onto a challenging road? The quiet, paralyzing suspicion that your engine is simply too powerful for a human being to safely control? This one might actually surprise you. Number 6, the fear of a powerful engine. The fear goes like this. All that power is sitting there right under you, waiting to be accidentally deployed by one clumsy wrist movement. One wrong input and you are a vertical trajectory toward the sky with a rapidly expanding insurance claim below you. The internet is full of videos of people looping bikes on on-ramps, accidentally wheeling in car parks, and high-siding out of corners in spectacular fashion. These videos get millions of views because they are spectacular and alarming. The brain files them under, "This will definitely happen to me," with alarming speed and total conviction. Here is what those videos are not showing you. The throttle position at the moment everything went wrong. Power is only dangerous at high throttle opening. A 600 horsepower car is not dangerous in a car park. Neither is a 100 horsepower motorcycle. The throttle tube, the hard plastic tube directly underneath your rubber grip, controls exactly how much power reaches the rear wheel, and that tube is controlled by your wrist at whatever pace you choose. No motorcycle has ever grabbed its own throttle. The power is completely inert until you ask for it, and you get to decide exactly how much and exactly how fast. The technique is called a progressive throttle roll-on, and it is almost insultingly simple. Instead of snapping the throttle open like a light switch, you rotate the throttle tube with your wrist opening gradually. Think of it as a volume dial, not an on-off switch. In the first 3 gears below 30 miles per hour, where powerful bikes are most responsive, a smooth gradual roll-on produces a confident, controlled launch that feels completely manageable at any engine size. A snap produces drama. The difference between those two outcomes is entirely in how slowly you open your wrist. Professional motorcycling schools deliberately teach students on larger bikes with experienced instructors standing nearby, specifically because they want riders learning correct throttle technique on the machines they will actually own. The consistent finding is that students who learn a smooth roll-on a 600cc machine immediately apply it correctly. The skill transfers. The fear does not follow it. Power is completely manageable with smooth inputs. Different fear now, and this one is specific. The kind that does not fully go away, even for experienced riders on unfamiliar roads. The moment you tip into a corner and genuinely have no idea where the limit is. Number 5, the fear of cornering. Leaning the bike over feels like falling. Your entire survival instinct, the one that has been keeping you alive since childhood, is screaming that tilting a vehicle to one side is how you crash it. Every corner on an unfamiliar road involves a genuine moment of uncertainty about whether you are leaning too far, going too fast, or about to run wide into a ditch or an oncoming lane. And the physics of motorcycle cornering are, to be blunt, genuinely strange in a way that does not help. To turn right on a motorcycle, you briefly push forward on the right bar, which first steers the wheel left before the bike leans right and carves the turn. Your body knows this makes no logical sense. The brain resists it. New riders often unconsciously push against the lean, their instinct fighting the physics, which does the exact opposite of what is needed and sends them drifting wide toward exactly the thing they were trying to avoid. The reality that makes all of this manageable: a motorcycle in a lean angle is in dynamic equilibrium. The centripetal force from the turn exactly counteracts gravity. Physics is managing the lean for you. You do not need to fight it, you need to trust it. Modern street tires have lean capabilities dramatically beyond anything a normal street rider will ever use. Most riders access about 30% of available cornering grip on a normal ride. There is an enormous margin between where you are and where the tire actually gives up. The fix is your eyes, specifically where they are pointed before you enter the corner. The technique is called visual targeting, and it works because your eyes direct your body weight steers the bike, and the bike goes where your weight tells it. Riders who run wide in corners almost always have their eyes aimed at the inside edge of the turn or at the oncoming lane, which is exactly where they then go, almost with mechanical inevitability. Point your eyes at the road surface at the exit of the corner as early as possible, hold them there, and the bike tracks that line with minimal physical input. It feels like the motorcycle is reading your mind. The California Superbike School, the most respected advanced riding school on the planet, teaches that 90% of street cornering problems are eye position problems. Not throttle, not braking, not lean angle. Eyes. Students who arrive terrified of corners leave after 2 days riding at lean angles they previously considered physically impossible, simply by retraining where they look. It is almost entirely a visual skill. Your tires have more grip than you will ever need. Your eyes just need to point somewhere useful. Cornering is conquerable. Completely different category now. What about the fear that has nothing to do with your skill and everything to do with whether the person in the SUV next to you has bothered to check their mirrors? The fear of being invisible to drivers is real, and the fix is more empowering than most riders realize. Number 4, the fear of being invisible to other drivers. This fear is partially based on actual statistics, which is what makes it so hard to shake. A significant percentage of motorcycle accidents involve a car driver who genuinely did not see the rider. The brain receives this information and immediately translates it into, "Cars are always about to hit me," which is both terrifying and completely useless as an operational state for riding. You cannot function from that place. You just freeze. What the statistics do not tell you is where those accidents happened and why the rider was invisible. Almost all of them involve one of two scenarios. The rider was in a blind spot, or the rider was approaching an intersection from an angle the driver was not checking. These are predictable positions. They are avoidable positions. Riders who actively manage where they are in a lane, staying out of blind spots, making themselves visible to waiting traffic before entering intersections, covering the brake lever at every potential conflict point, reduce their exposure to these crashes dramatically. Visibility is a skill you actively practice, not a passive condition you endure. The specific fix is lane positioning, and the reference point to memorize is the left tire track, the polished strip of asphalt roughly 1/3 from the left side of your lane, where the vehicle ahead's left tire runs. Riding the left tire track by default puts you in the most visible position to oncoming traffic and to drivers waiting at side streets, while keeping you out of most overtaking blind spots. It is not complicated. It is not magic. It is just choosing to occupy the part of the lane where people can see you. Studies of experienced versus new riders consistently show that experienced riders subconsciously reposition within their lane dozens of times per mile in response to hazards. They are not riding a fixed line. They are actively managing their visibility in real time. Make the question, can that driver see me right now? A habit at every intersection and every merge. Your lane positioning will permanently change within weeks. You go from passive victim of other drivers' inattention to active participant in your own safety. Hit that like button right now if this is making motorcycling feel possible instead of terrifying. It genuinely helps this video reach riders who are sitting on a fence about getting started. You might be changing someone's entire trajectory with one tap. Being seen is a skill, not luck. Now here is the fear that does not announce itself loudly. It just quietly convinces riders to never take the next step up. Never try the bigger bike. Never upgrade. The intimidation of a larger machine is surprisingly common and surprisingly solvable. Number 3, the fear of upgrading to a bigger bike. You have been riding your 300cc or 400cc beginner bike with growing confidence. You want more highway capability, more range, more presence in traffic, more of whatever it is that made you want to ride in the first place. But the 650 or the 750 or the full liter bike sitting in the dealership feels like a completely different species, and you are genuinely unsure whether the skills you have built on the small bike will survive the translation. Here is the honest truth. They do, completely. The fundamental skills of motorcycle riding, body position, visual targeting, smooth throttle inputs, progressive braking are physics skills. They work on any machine that has 2 wheels and a throttle. A rider who has genuinely internalized these techniques on a smaller bike is more ready for a larger machine than they believe. What does not transfer directly is the muscle memory for the specific weight and geometry of the new bike, and that recalibration happens naturally within a few hundred miles of low-stakes riding. It is not starting over, it is recalibrating. Everything else follows from that one calibration. The most common feedback from riders who make their first upgrade is almost embarrassingly predictable. 20 minutes in a car park feeling very uncertain. 30 miles on quiet roads feeling cautious. Then they just rode. The transition is consistently described as faster and smoother than expected. The fear occupied far more space than the actual adjustment required. It always does. Bigger bikes are approachable. On the subject of things that feel scarier than they actually are, let us address the fear that sounds the most socially reasonable. The one with real peer pressure baked in, group riding. Number 2, the fear of group riding. Other motorcycles, very close to you, moving at speed in formation. If anyone makes a mistake, there is a chain reaction. You might be the weakest rider in the group. You might hold everyone up. You might cause an incident that you will be thinking about for years. The social pressure stacked on top of the physical challenge feels genuinely overwhelming, and the most common response is to decline every group invitation until the invitations stop coming. Most of this fear is social, not physical. It is the fear of being exposed as the least skilled person in a group. which incidentally is how all group activities feel when you are the newest member. Whether you are riding motorcycles or playing chess or joining a book club, the specific intensity of motorcycle group riding is real, but the solution is not avoidance. A good group ride is actually one of the safest and most structured riding environments a developing rider can access. The reason for that is the staggered formation, and once you understand it, the whole thing becomes dramatically less intimidating. Lead rider on the left tire track, second rider on the right tire track, 1 second behind. Third rider back to the left, 2 seconds behind the lead. Nobody is directly behind anyone else. Each rider has maximum forward visibility and maximum reaction distance. The formation is not a preference or a tradition. It is engineering applied to the problem of multiple motorcycles navigating the same road space. Learn the raised fist for stop, flat palm down for slow, pointing arm for hazard, and you have the communication system. Maintain a 2-second gap to the rider directly in front. Ride your own ride. Experienced group riders do not respect recklessness. They respect a rider who knows their limits and holds them. Touring groups regularly manage 20 or more bikes through complex city traffic because the staggered formation. Imagine walking into a viewing holding all the cards. You know the fair price, you know your opening offer, and you know the exact number where you walk away. That's how you knock hundreds, even thousands off the asking price. Our buyer's kit hands you those numbers for just $49. Negotiate from facts and never overpay again. Scan the QR on the right or tap the link in the description. Ride away knowing you got the best deal. Learn it once and group riding goes from intimidating to one of the most enjoyable things you can do on a motorcycle. Subscribe right now so you never miss a video like this one. We are about to get to number 1, the fear that sits at the absolute foundation of every other fear on this entire list. And once you hear the fix, you will wonder why nobody said this sooner. Group dynamics sorted. Now number 1, the fear that does not have a clean name, but that every single rider who has ever sat next to a parked motorcycle and decided not to get on it knows intimately. This is the real reason most people never start. Number 1, the fear of not being good enough. You are going to get on a motorcycle and it is immediately going to be obvious to you, to traffic, to the universe, that you have absolutely no idea what you are doing. You will be exposed as someone for whom this is simply not meant. You will confirm the suspicion you have been quietly carrying, that motorcycling is for other people and you are not one of them. This fear is so common, it basically has a reserved parking spot in the brain of every person who has ever considered riding. Here is the thing the fear never once mentions. Every rider you have ever seen who looks completely effortless on a motorcycle was, at a specific point in their past, exactly where you are. Every single one. The rider filtering smoothly through city traffic, the one carving canyons on a weekend, the one at a red light looking like they were born on the machine. All of them stalled engines in car parks, dropped bikes in front of strangers, misjudged corners, wondered if they were cut out for this. The only difference between them and where you are right now is time and repetition. No secret talent, no innate gift, just practice applied consistently. The single most confidence-building investment you can make is a formal beginner course, the Motorcycle Safety Foundation. Basic rider course puts you on a small, manageable motorcycle in a closed environment with qualified instructors whose only job is building your skill from the ground up. The handlebar area, throttle hand, clutch hand, eyes, feet on the controls, becomes your entire world for 2 days. Within 8 hours of structured practice, inputs that feel foreign and frightening become automatic and natural. Not comfortable yet, automatic. And automatic is the foundation everything is built on. Here is what nobody says loudly enough. Everyone in that course feels exactly the way you feel. The nervous energy is universal. The one person who shows up thinking they already know everything is the only one who fails to improve. Everyone else, the anxious ones, the ones who almost canceled, leaves transformed. Not because they became perfect riders, because they discovered that competence is genuinely available to them. The MSF has graduated over 10 million riders in North America. The course works. The fear is lying to you. 9 fears. Every single one of them real. Every single one of them solvable. Not one of them a legitimate reason to leave the bike in the garage for another year. The difference between riders and non-riders is not talent. It is not bravery. It is not some innate mechanical gift that some people have and others do not. It is the decision to take the fear seriously enough to address it, instead of letting it quietly make the decision for you. And if you want the 9 biggest mistakes new riders make in their first 6 months, the ones that actually do matter, continue the ride and make sure to click on the next video. Subscribe to our channel and like this video. Oh, and don't be afraid and hit the road today.